Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today, the 2nd of February. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be me. So if you haven't been on Twitter or otherwise mostly just follow me through the podcast, I played the optimal yesterday. So congratulations to me. I was the only person who did it as far as I'm aware in any DraftKings competition. Now, unfortunately, it was in the $1 because it was my 12th out of 26 rated lineups. And I didn't like the way the $4 looked or whatever because it was like a 70K thing. So instead of $6,000, which is where this would have been headed if I had done my full regular allotment, because I didn't really like the slate or whatever ridiculous judgment in retrospect, I only win the 1500 plus. I also got third place in the same competition with a different lineup. Because if you pay attention to what I'm saying to you guys, I'm telling you to play Hartenstein. Like, what are the minutes? What do they expect? Do they not watch last week? I know this week he had one game where he didn't play very much. He was coming back from a thing. He's back now. I don't, anyway, so that was wild. And then when I saw that everybody was 65% Jackson Hayes or 65% Christian Wood off the bench, I went to the last game and I was like, what am I missing here? We had Jackson Hayes was closing over Wood even before the blowout. Now I saw he came back in the blowout, and then there was this game in December where people were like, okay, maybe it's going to be like that. I thought that for the last game before that weird Christian Wood rotation. But then I went back and I looked at that game. Jackson actually got 5 fouls pretty quickly in that game. So possibly the plan all year long in these situations with AD out has been to play a lot of Jackson Hayes, and he just has only recently figured out how not to foul. So anyway, I made a huge stand. I was 50% Jackson. I was only 15% Christian Wood, and it paid off in a big way. Once we have to watch these reports. I was trying to wait long enough for news to come today, and I just haven't gotten any reasonable news yet. It's ridiculous. How long do I have to wait? But anyway, I'm still not quite sure exactly what the slate's going to be like today because yesterday we didn't know what to do with Achua or Hartenstein really until we got the news about OG. When OG is out, that tells us they're going to start these two alongside each other, and both of them could push for 40 minutes. You had to have them in your lineups, and you had to be massively overweight. I was probably like 50% Hardenstein, 40% Achua. I forget what it was, but I was massively overweight to all the best guys on yesterday's slate, with one exception. I forget who Bourne had. Anyway, this lineup beats the Frankie Bourne's 100K winner by 18 points. So it's a lesson in being comfortable with how you're playing because I am. Like, I don't really care. This happened last year. I won the $4, and at the time last year, it wouldn't have taken down the 100K. So I didn't care that much. But it happens from time to time. If you have a good process, like it happened to Sean Geezy a couple of times this year, he's won the mini max with a lineup that would have won the other one. So, you just have to understand, how you're playing. And I'm playing the way I'm playing for a reason. It worked out one time. So that's what we're going to take out of it. We're going to have positive vibes only. And now let's see, do we have anything more from Underdog before I go into the slate? Because come on, man. I waited a long time. This video is pretty late. It's not supposed to be a slate starter, but here we are. Okay, so I don't really have very much news. The one piece of news, Lugens, no thanks. I'm never going to have 68% Lugens Dort. He was on the floor a lot. I was impressed with his effort. I will give him a solid 40%, but I'm not going to be like core Lugens Dort. That's not who we are. I haven't got any I don't think I have any rules currently activated. The Clippers don't have the stars 2 out of 3. Yeah, I don't have any rules at all right now. So we'll see if that's how I stay. Only $200 on the table because yeah, that's where the optimal was yesterday, and we're gonna find it there again today, I think. It's pretty efficient slate is what I'm getting at. There's not hugely obvious values. The values that we have are ones that I have input for various reasons of guys that are out. So we do have one with the one bit of news. What was that from Underdog earlier in the day? So yeah, there's a couple pieces here. We had a downgrade. Where was it? Um, I thought we had an early day. Yeah. So Şengün present at shoot around remains questionable. So I don't like present at shoot around. That's not a distinction that is meaningful to me. Do you guys know what that is? I don't know what that is. So because reporters are allowed at shoot around, right? Like they're allowed to see whether or not he participates. So being present at shoot around is deliberately saying did not participate, right? Like you have to read between the lines. As far as I'm aware, these beat reporters are allowed to come to practice and ask questions to the coach afterward and stuff. So when Zion Williams and Herb Jones are present at shoot around, they did not participate in shoot around, right? This is like laundering some sort of reporter news, right? So anyway, that's just sound off in the comments if I'm wrong about the openness of NBA practices and whether or not the reporters actually get the full practice report. But I'm pretty sure President Shoot Around is not took part in shoot around, is not the same. So keep an eye out. I am not expecting Zion to play, Herb Williams to play, or obviously Xavier Tillman, doubtful. Sengun. Sengun is the big one. He's illness present, but remains questionable. Like, what does that mean? He was present at shoot around? If he's sick, why is he there? Like, anyway, I don't understand what's going on. I assume he was just like taking it easy over in the corner because he's feeling sick and that he'll do the same tonight. But who knows? But for now, that's why a lot of these values are here. Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. These are guys who get huge usage bumps with what I hope will be a late news scratch on Sengun, because not enough people react to midday downgrades like that. That's huge. Like Sengun plays through anything. So the fact that he's feeling, well, okay, my bad. He was midday downgraded yesterday or whatever. He's been questionable. He wasn't, I don't think that was a midday. Yeah, illness remains questionable. When did we have our first piece of Sengun news? Well, who knows? Just keep scrolling forever. I know that makes great content. So yeah, it's I don't currently have a huge lean on this slate. Like there's not like yesterday where you had a value you had to get to. I don't even think like I would necessarily make a core like right now. None of these guys is good enough to be core. I have a bunch of guys who are okay. I have a bunch of more, like the next level. Dort's more, Kuminga's more, McDaniels, Wembenyama's fine. I mean, I guess if I gotta pick a core, probably Wemby and Osman are going to be like standing out above the rest, but I don't have to pick a core. This is like, so that's the other thing, by the way, I wanted to point or like just say about the timing of these videos and stuff. The Slate Starter videos get more views, but I don't want you to think like that. So that's why I prefer to do these ones that are a little later after shoot around. We have news to react and stuff because the reality is even this is way too early. But the other reality is when I did the Slate Starter, kind of messing with the lineups at that point is bad. It's actively bad. Like to have stuff you did in the morning around later in the day. I don't like the way that was affecting my process. So yesterday, did it a little bit later. We didn't finalize anything until we had the big news. And we weren't commit. Do not get committed to any play at this point in the day. It's only 3 hours before lock. It's not that close to lock, or it's not that far away. But at the same time, we don't have the news yet. Whatever the news is makes your stand on this slate. So honestly, like I guess that's what I should say is don't pile up guys in these early games unless we get the news for the 5 o'clock games. We have some significant news here. Sengun, let's look at all the questionable guys. That's a good way to start the slate. So Cade Cunningham, probable guys, who cares? They're all going to play. Larry Nance, we have questionable tagged. If he plays, a really solid value. If he's out, we also have backup center value that's a little cheaper in one of the Balding brothers, Zellers. I don't remember which Zeller it is, but I think maybe only one of them's playing anymore. I don't know. The other one's hurt. I don't remember what happened to Tyler. But Cody, I think, is the one who's there. You can play the Zeller. Oh, gotta check on. No, I already did that. Madden Sims overlay. Make sure you have your alarm set. It's just leaving money on the table. That's my most consistent return over a long period. And the way that I can continue to play these weird NBA games every night, which, win a few $1,000s every now and again. Okay, so Gobert, that's too low of a projection if he's in. So we'd have to go back. Yeah, we should have our Minnesota 2 of 3 rule, but we had to go right. That's what it was. Gobert downgrade. What was that? Like, when did that news happen? That Gobert news was like yesterday or something? I know that Gobert news was around. So anyway, if Gobert's out, that's huge. So let's search whatever. So yeah. If Gobert's out, what do you do? Well, we have our first core piece, right? If Gobert is out, we are making Nas core. There's 100%. That's the kind of news you got to react to with a vengeance. If Nas is getting Gobert's minutes, he's one. I mean, is 100% wrong? Yeah, a guy could get injured. 90%. I mean, like he's like the play from yesterday. So that's the guy. Like I thought I remembered that happening today, but it seemed like it was further back in the history. Doesn't really matter. If Gobert's out, you play Naz Reid. There's not a question about it. There's no other option for this team. You play Naz Reid. I mean, you jam him. You jam Naz Reid. That's the only core piece I'm seeing right now. Even the other guys who are questionable. Like Şengün, he doesn't like if he's out, you're not jamming. I mean, these guys are all fine. You like go a little heavy on Jalen Green, like that's the upside of Şengün being out. So yeah, I should say how I've limited people on Houston. Jalen Green, I've given 35%. Jabari Smith, I've given 30%. These are guys I think get peripheral stats beyond just shooting and beyond just having to drill a zillion shots. I don't think that's the case for Cam Whitmore or Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks could get there with stocks or something. But in general, for those guys to make value, they have to drain them. But there's a chance they drain him. I mean, Cam Whitmore, when you look at the like Şengün out stats, these guys are at the top of the usage. Obviously, they're the shooters. What else are you going to do? And now they're probably getting more passing game as well. So Cam Whitmore, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet look good, but still have to hit shots. You know what I mean? Whereas Jabari Smith Jr. and Jalen Green get maximum extended and have to do a lot of other things. Jalen Green getting assists, Jabari Smith getting the rebounds that normally go to Şengün. Okay, so that's my I think those are the two really big questionable pieces. Beyond that, if the Lakers are on this slate, fine. I don't think they are. Okay, good. Miles Turner questionable. I think that's like a lingering issue. I don't think he's really questionable. Barrett and Quickly. Another like these guys have been in, they've been out. If they're in, eh. If they're out, I guess we have to look at Toronto a little bit more for value. I don't really want to do that. So I kind of hope they're in. Yeah, everybody else who's questionable is not really going to affect the slate. I mean, I guess Zion. Zion's the other guy who affects the slate. Let's talk about that briefly because I think there's a decent chance he and Herb are out based on that weird weasel words from the shoot around. So we go over to New Orleans. We rank them by points. Brandon Ingram, smash. Zion, out. McCollum, smash. So that's what we would do in the case where Zion's out. We would put like 44 for Ingram. We would do like 38 for Zion or for McCollum. They can both get there together. We unclick Zion. We give a little bit more to Trey Murphy. We give, I don't know about the other guys. Yeah, I don't know what to do if Nance misses either because I don't think they've been really hesitant to give Valanciunas minutes. You know what I mean? So maybe they extend Valanciunas, but my confidence in that is like 10, 15%. So I probably would go with the fork with Zeller. Yeah, so let's say here's what I do. So this is assuming Nance is in. If Nance is out, what I would do is unclick Nance and I would give Zeller all of Nance's points. And that's it. I think that it would be a straight swap. They would run his body and just pretend it's the old, pretend the old man is the young man who's roughly a similar guy. Okay. So yeah. I don't really know what to tell you for core right now. I mean, the guys who are here are the best values, but I don't really feel strongly like Hero, pretty decent chance he goes off against a really, really bad Washington team, but also a pretty good chance of a blowout. I don't really want to be massively over the field. And Hero's another guy. He could get some peripherals, but it's not like anybody's out from Miami, right? He has to hit shots as well to make value in a team if Butler's there. Yeah. So I would not prefer to be 40%. Hero, I'll match the field, but I don't feel strongly about this play. I don't want to be a part of it. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like the other thing I added to my process yesterday and the day before that didn't go as well, so we don't need to talk about it. But I added that in my last I changed it from a last half hour crunch to a last hour crunch so that I have 30 minutes to myself right before. This is also my wife getting off work a little earlier, but if you have time for it, definitely have a period where you're like kind of Zen focused yourself, and then a period where you invite in some commentary from some dudes, either in the chat or some sort of YouTube show or whatever, after you've got your thoughts together yourself. Because when you're receiving like this kind of show or whatever, you are, Council of Dudes stuff I love to talk about, but you are in charge of your Council of Dudes. You're the supreme ruler. When I say something, you should respond to it, like feel your response and then go with that. You know what I mean? Like that either way is valuable. Whether you think, oh man, he's really off his rocker on this one, or whether it redouble, whether you think I'm onto something. Like the other day, yesterday, yeah. So in my Council of Dudes time, I'd already had my 30 minutes of meditative whatever and was sure about Jackson Hayes. So when I was like in my Council of Dudes time, listening to DK's live stream, hearing him like not into Jackson Hayes, talking about Wood, I'm like, nah, just not on it, not convinced. Like I'm not hearing good counterpoints to what I know are the rotations of that team. No response to the weird tweet, no response to like, well, Christian Wood hadn't played more than 22 minutes in a game where Jackson Hayes has been available. So, I mean, I just couldn't play him for more than 22 minutes. He just never, the whole season, the one game where he got extended, Jackson Hayes was in huge foul trouble or not there. You know what I mean? Like he got extended one time in a blowout where AD started. So, I mean, his 2 games over 22 minutes all year were not the same. So anyway, I don't know what it is either. Does Darvin Ham not like Christian Wood? This is not me saying Christian Wood should not play more than 22 minutes. Let's make it clear. I think Christian Wood should be playing over Jackson Hayes. They are just committed to not doing that. Like at a coaching level, it's like somebody in their coaching staff has to admit they made a mistake if Christian Wood plays over Jackson Hayes or something. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what I don't understand is like he is playing over him all the time, except when AD is out. And then Jackson Hayes becomes the starter and gets starters minutes, which doesn't even make sense from a like conditioning perspective. Anyway, I don't know why they do it. I don't understand it. It doesn't seem right. It is what they do it, what they're doing, and what they seem to plan to do when AD's out. And I don't know why, but they've been doing it all season. Okay, rest of these choices. You get into a lot of New Orleans guys, as much as you can swallow, really. I 3x the field is about as strong. I mean, I guess if Zion's out, we're going to go to more Brandon Ingram. We're going to go, I mean, he still does have to hit shots. Who's the other guy? McCollum. Okay, so also has to hit shots. That's the problem. A lot of these guys, like, I don't feel there's no slam dunk peripheral guys today. It's like all shooters that are the top end values. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Like Sabonis, I guess, fine. Shea gets there in other ways. I like that. I like playing those guys. But yeah, and Wemby. Well, Wemby's really cheap. Okay, Wemby's core. I didn't know Wemby was 9,000 still. That's absurd. Yeah. Wemby's core. I mean, I'm going to have some lineups fading Wemby, obviously, but I finally have a core for you. It's Wemby. And then I guess if I'm assuming, well, okay, let's do the Court IQ about it. Did I put that? Yeah, put that on the Discord. So let's go over here to the new content and we go to Sengun out. No. Randall. Huh. So we don't have one. Okay. Bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. Well, I'll let you guys know what yeah, right. That was with Zion out. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So with Zion out. Oh yeah, where's Zion? Yesterday? Oh, I don't have it yet. Okay, so all right. Now that you guys have watched me do a little Groundhog Day, hey, look at that. Well, that's what's it called? Theme material. I've done a thematic element, you know. If I do a little Groundhog Day thing and I do the same thing twice on Groundhog Day, come on, guys. It's a thematic element. It wasn't me messing up. It was just me acknowledging Puxatawny Phil, who hey, Groundhog see a shadow. Break some news for you. I do not know the answer is also why I'm searching this. Come on, Google, man. The deterioration of the internet is terrible. I used to be able to type groundhog see shadow or ground howl see shadow. Did he see a shadow? Come on, man. It's official. Spring's around the corner. Bum, bum, bum. No shadow seen. All right. Winter's done in Pennsylvania, according to Puxatawny Phil. So, aren't you glad that you watched this NBA DFS podcast so that we could cycle that in? Okay. So not Brandon Ingram off the court. Come on. Zion's the guy. We got Zion as like Herb, I think. I'll put Herb in there too, just because why not? I don't think it's going to change the sample that much. It's not like Herb's amazing. Was it Herb? Whatever. I'll leave Herb in the sample. No, the minutes are too. I don't like the number of minutes we got here. But Ingram, 7% boost. You see it. You get a little more Najee, I guess, but 7% boost to Ingram's the main thing. So pop that up to 48, maybe, just to make it appropriate. Ingram becomes core. This is assuming Zion's out. because that's what I'm trying to assume here in this draft. Then we go over to, I've sorted it the wrong way by points. I was like, I don't think Sebron's first. McCollum 41 and Valanciunas. That's the thing. Valanciunas minutes become, it's, I don't know what to do with Valanciunas. I think you got to do, I don't know. I don't think he gets extended. It's just like with Christian Wood yesterday. They just don't play that guy, man. And I hate it. There's nothing I hate worse than having a great point per minute guy in a smash spot whose freaking coach won't put him in the game, man. There's nothing worse than that, right? I mean, so that's why I shy away from those places because like I don't know what that guy's thinking. He's stupid. I'm not trying to defend that. You know what I mean? Like with Christian Wood. They've been doing stupid stuff. It's not like yesterday was the first time they did something stupid with Christian Wood. Their entire usage this year of Christian Wood has been stupid. So anyway, that was kind of the logic behind the play. I think they're going to be stupid. Okay. So Brandon Ingram, Wembanyama, and then it doesn't look like we're getting to, oh, okay. I didn't, I think I'm going to allow 50% of also, what's his name? McCollum. Yep. Those are my core. Ingram, Wembanyama, McCollum. We are assuming Zion's out. Present at shoot around, assuming that's just like BS for not playing. But yeah, so obviously if he's in, hopefully we'll have some other news to play off of. But for now, remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. Yes.